Good evening, everybody. Falcha Arash. That's very nice, Vanessa. Falcha Arash.
What's still wrong?
I think the life coach is still a little bit too low.
Yeah, it won't move for me. I might have to add in a different.
Just make that. See the way you have that double spaced? Make that one smaller.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have that double space. That's just automatically done. That.
I was trying to do my Irish Falcha Arash. Go the Rainmaker. What is Rainmaker? Oscailga. Corbashdi is Rain. Maker is Jan, I think. Let's just see now. Rainmaker. Rainmaker. Boshdock Boshdi. That sounds slightly rude, doesn't it? You dirty Boshdock. You dirty Boshdock Boshdi. Is there anyone there? Hello. Somebody's watching. Rainmaker. Let's see if I split it. Rain, Boshdock, Maker. Jantor Boshdi. Jantor Boshdi. Jantor. Rainmaker. Did you mean the Rainmaker? Boshdock Boshdi. That doesn't seem right. No data.
Too close now?
No. Excellent connection. Pharmacist dude over the counter. Welcome. Falcha Arash.
We missed him last week.
We did. We made a mention, and then he said that he'd be here this week.
I like that.
Although there was no pressure, it wasn't meant to. I kind of assumed you'd be here, but it wasn't.
He wasn't here for roll call, so.
And then he said, "Be there."
Be square.
Be square, which is quite cool. Very retro, but quite cool. Pharmacist dude over the counter. Do you ever watch? Have you ever watched that show Atlanta with Donald Glover? I'd imagine you're somebody who watches that. It is excellent. I've discovered it on Disney this week, and I've watched season 1.
It's not a very Disney program, is it? What you would imagine Disney being.
No. They have to show other stuff. They can't just be all Donald Duck and. Is that Disney?
Yeah. Well, Warner Brothers.
Donald Duck's Warner Brothers, yeah. Dumbo. And.
Don't be calling me that. Very nice. Yeah.
Nope. Very good.
Very quiet starting off there now tonight.
It's quite surreal. Yeah, isn't it? No one
Mm.
home. Oh.
Oh, no, you see, because everyone in the UK is out and about now.
Yeah. So they've abandoned us.
Pubs are open. You have their different type of entertainment.
How does Big Mickey get away with that innuendo? See, the thing is, when we were going up, I saw it, and I said we must stop. But sometimes the sat nav.
In your endo.
Sometimes the sat nav might bring us back a different way, and I'd miss it. So there's something I'd see on the way up, and I'm gonna go, I want to do that. One of the things I want to do is from time to time. Are you in the shot? From time to time so when we crossed into Northern Ireland, the border area in certain aspects of the country is a bit odd, isn't it? It's sort of strange, especially when you have two towns on either side of the border divided by a river. or you can see the way the old border used to be closed off and everything like that. And we're always kind of passing through them on the way. And I keep meaning to do something, so we're usually rushing to get to the place. So we kind of go, I'll do that on the way back. And then when we're coming back,
come back that way.
well, yeah, or else we're knackered, and it's like I can't be bothered. Yeah, there's no one there. Just pharmacists do it over the counter.
And 2 other people.
They haven't announced themselves, so unless they announce themselves, they don't exist in my book. So obviously
3 other people.
everybody is obviously out and about. So fair ball to you.
Out and about.
Fair ball to you.
I would say now, the way you move your hands when you talk, I'd say move that glass.
Jesus Christ, Vanessa. You're dead right. So everyone's obviously out and about. So we're going to really be relying on us for the conversation tonight.
Good luck with that. It'll be a half an hour podcast tonight.
Wasn't as bad as last week. I don't think it's as bad as last week's conversation, but I definitely know that I'm. I don't know what it is. What is it? I'm sort of struggling a little bit. I just don't feel very angry about anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Well,
passionate. Can you not use the word passionate?
Yeah.
Rather than angry.
It's the 5-year review in the can. Not in the can, but it will be tomorrow if it stays
in the
dry.
van.
If it stays dry, it will be tomorrow. See, it's just that Vanessa had her classes last weekend. We were away the weekend before, and
why do you wear black? Because it shows up everything.
And yeah, but that way when it's clean, it's spotless. And then so I'm waiting. That's why I asked them what's the weather forecast for tomorrow, and they said dry, so it's kind of grand. So we will get it done.
To be decent tomorrow, yeah.
I hope it's good now because you're kind of building it up a little bit. You're putting me under a little bit of pressure. So I hope it's good. It's going to basically be a rerun of the last one in that I'm going to do a short intro and then the longer version. So basically the short intro is going to be...
We have the van.
Well, for the fanboys, we're going to have to say, we love the van, right? We love having the van. If it was a different brand, like a Merc or a Ford, and we didn't know any difference, we'd probably love it also.
Hi, Laura.
But we have to kind of say, we have to... for the fanboys, acknowledge that we do like, and it is a lovely van. And then the short version is going to be, there's been tons of issues. You see, because then the fanboys are kind of go, oh, you're just hating on the Cali again. And then I'm going to go through, as I did before, and we can add various issues like the canopy, the tap falling off, the pump breaking, all the repairs that you got, the stupid seats, the thing left under the seat, my videos on the fuses. So there's a ton of stuff. For one vehicle, it's very giving.
Well, you can't do the thing left under the seat because that was after the 5 years.
No, it's a retrospective of what has happened in the
all
last
the crazy.
what's happened in the last 5 years. You know what I mean?
Are you going to do what I suggested?
I don't know. I can't remember what you suggest.
About putting the little bits of videos into...
No.
Why?
That's too much hard work. Would you stop?
I think that's a nice
No,
idea.
no, it's hard enough video to do anyway. No, so mine. You never know me. So you put it into my head, and I kind of, it's too much hard work. And then I kind of go.
I'm not taking your advice there.
Well, there's one born every minute, whatever. So, good evening, Laura. I sense that no pressure, lol. I don't know now. I think you're building it up. I was watching Ford Nugget feeds. Terrible design. Yeah, that's true. Open toilet in the kitchen zone. Open toilet. Oh, is that door behind us? That's Vanessa's office. That's the utility room.
Is he not talking about the van design?
Oh, maybe. Oh, I see. Sorry.
That's so that they can
I don't know.
Cook while they're on the toilet, so no minute is wasted.
Yeah. Remind me to put the porta potty back in the van. I know I said that to you, but I have a feeling. Usually, I ask someone to remind me, so then I'll definitely remember. But I have a feeling I'll forget. And
it's only upstairs a week, so.
Yeah, well, I had to clean it out because you guys use it, and then complain about the pong out of it, and I didn't think it was that smelly at all.
It wasn't great. I can still smell it when I go into the bathroom. Yeah,
because it's been impregnated with organic matter like urea, and our noses are hypersensitive to those kind of things. So urea and all, because they're kind of the smells are associated.
Have you trimmed your mustache?
Putrefaction. No, why?
You have.
I have a little bit. Why? Why? You can see my lip now.
It's a bit wonky.
In what way?
Well, it's up there.
I know. Do you know? See, do you know what it is? See, I tell you something interesting about having a beard, right?
Is it interesting now, really?
It is. It is because anyone who's never had a beard, what's interesting about your beard is right, is that it kind of, as you get up when you get up in the morning, right? So I went through all the phase of buying beard balms and all that crap, right? And that's all rubbish. All that stuff doesn't do anything. And so now what I do is I use Head and Shoulders because I struggle with dandruff. That's why Vanessa's complaining about my shirt, right? So I use Head and Shoulders and I wash my beard. Now what they say is the hair in your face is different from the hair in your head, and you should use. And I think that is just honestly, I think is a gimmick because if anything, when I was using all those beard shampoos, my beard was very uncontrollable, right? So now I use the Head and Shoulders in the morning, and that's that. But what happens is that your beard, like when you wash your hair, the structure of it kind of loosens, right? But what happens is as the day goes on, the shape comes back into your beard. It tends to. So my beard looks best at the end of the day, just as I'm about to go to bed, because it's spent the day kind of reshaping itself. The hairs and everything all kind of interact. The only problem is wearing a mask plays havoc with it because it tends to, have it all over the place and messes it all up. But no, I didn't. But the interesting thing is that there's sort of like when you look at the hairs here, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. It's all part of this kind of, it just has its own life cycle that it does during the day.
See that?
What?
No longer use dandruff shampoo, just makes the dandruff worse.
Yeah. I did give it up for a while. I did give it up for a while and my scalp went mad. It did.
Use menthol shampoo.
I don't know. Well, I could use the tar, but it gets really
and you don't need any excuses.
Yeah, no, and I get it and the thing about it is I get dandruff sort of in the hairline above my neck. And that's the only place I really get it, and it gets really itchy, so and the Head and Shoulders does work. But I did see there's a video on about some guy, he gave up, he hasn't washed his hair in 5 years, and I did try that, but I think you might have to go through a phase of your hair doing its own thing, and I just can't, because you'd be like, oh, your hair, dandruff. Yeah. So I'm kind of locked in.
I haven't washed my hair in 2 weeks.
Dirty cow, but you don't have dandruff. No longer. Tea tree. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll put the boss onto getting me some tea tree.
I just said that.
I heard you. I'm just acknowledging both of you because I know at pharmacist do it over the counter said it, and I know you said it, so I'm basically agreeing.
And he's a pharmacist that does it over the counter.
Yeah.
So he'd know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sure. We'll give it a go. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So that's the thing. Very quiet tonight, isn't it? Very quiet.
They're all in the pub.
A lot of people are going to obviously watch it on playback.
Mr. Ford isn't even here.
Yeah.
Did he even send his apologies?
At least we got one like, whoever that was. Thank you very much. It's nice though when there's it's nice to have the comments, but when there's not a ton coming in on some evenings, I kind of feel like I can relax a little bit as well, you know that way?
Yeah, you don't have to have your reading glasses on.
Well, I'm always surprised. I don't know if anyone has ever done anything like this, but the first time you ever go live and people log in and start saying stuff to you, you're a bit kind of going, whoa, I was not expecting anyone to be there. So the GH5 is the camera I use to make my videos, and they brought out the GH5 Mark II, and they're launching the GH6 at the end of the year. I will be buying the GH6, and I'm looking forward to that. But the GH5 has come out and they've upgraded, and it is a great camera, I have to say, so that's brilliant. Tea tree, quiet because it's a lovely evening. Well, it's not over here. It's not over here. But this is the whole beauty of this. It's because people can watch it on playback. But I think the dynamic is going to be different because there isn't all the people kind of commenting, isn't there? So it's up to you then, Vanessa. It's your podcast. What do you want to talk about?
Oh my God, really?
Although I do have something I want to say.
Week 28, and you're still saying to me, it's up to you, Vanessa, what you want to talk about. And then I'd start talking about something and you go, actually, what I'll talk about is...
Well, you usually hesitate, and I have something to say then.
He who hesitates.
I got my jab tonight. I went down and got my COVID, my first. I got the... Not Movianto. Moderna. Movianto, that's a company, isn't it, that does waste and everything like that. So I went down and got my jab, right? And you know what? Something has dawned on me. I know I am
Hypochondriac?
No, yes, that's true. But I know I'm stressed because of COVID. I know that. And when I was talking to the doctor on the phone the other day, I was chatting to him and he was saying, you could be dealing with stress from COVID as well and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think the thing about it is, it's sort of like, I'm just stressed and now I've become accustomed to it. And
which isn't healthy.
So what happened was, I was down in the, it's basically a, what is it?
Convention centre.
A convention centre. And what they did with the convention centre is they've converted it into a inoculation.
Like a military hospital.
Yeah, no, it's very good. I was in and out in a flash. And, but when I was in the queue, I was looking around and the only thing, I felt my eyes tearing up a little bit.
Getting emotional.
And all of a sudden, and I felt this sense of
relief.
Yeah. And I went, whoa, what's this? So I thought, oh my God, this, so A, I'm not aware that I was feeling this way. And B, obviously, clearly, it's a good thing because then there's this sense that I'm clearly frustrated deeply over the whole thing because I felt my eyes just tear up a little bit, but I felt this wave of relief wash over me. And now it didn't last long, but I think it didn't because again, I snapped back to reality in that it's the maddest thing to think that we're down there getting this, that we're living through a pandemic, right? But I think the thing for me was that it was like when you get your results from your exams, or when Christian was born and he was fine and all that kind of stuff. It's like that, you know, that, okay. So I think when I get my next jab and when things start to normalize, hopefully we start to come around, because I do think I am not one of these people who has adjusted well to living with COVID. And I know I'm not the only one. I know there's many people who are struggling with living with COVID. Needless to say, the people who have been sick or died, like, we're getting out of it
got free.
Well, so far we are hypersensitive to being around people. That is stressing. Well, I 100% agree with you that I think the most stressful thing in my life is other people. The guy that was kind of signing me in, he was quite funny because he was asking me about, like, what's your name, what's your phone number, what's your address, and then he said to me, he asked me the security question I'd answered on the web, and then he asked me something else, and I must have answered or something like that. I don't know, it was a trick question, because he said to me, how many counties are in the Republic? And I went, 32. There's 26, right? There's 32 counties in all of Ireland, including Northern Ireland. But I said, there's 32. And I went, no, wait, right? You're not getting the vaccine, right? So I went, no, wait. And then he laughed and he said, no, you're right. And I was like, okay. And then because he was like, clearly, and you just weren't thinking. How many counties are in Ireland? 32.
What the cows drink?
Yeah, I nearly said milk. Yeah. What the cows drink. Yeah, very good. But I have to say, the sense I did feel momentarily, I thought, wow, I am really bottling up a lot of stress because of this COVID thing. I'm really, 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 I think I'm worn out from it.
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah. It's just the constant hypervigilance. And even actually something today, we were working in an office, and they're using the office as an overflow for the canteen. And I got an email this evening, because we were down there working in the office, right? So we were down there, and there's only supposed to be 3 people in the office, 2 at any time, and there was 3 of us. But it was like we were kind of going in and out and everything like that. And then I got an email this evening to say, in future, can you leave the office empty because of people using it as an overflow from the canteen? And I was like, I don't even have the will to get annoyed, because the double standards of it all. Because if you saw what else was going on, you'd be kind of going, this is clearly double standards and crap. But also, I just thought, oh, here we go. And then I just think the screens against everybody and masks and all that, the paraphernalia around the whole thing. I went and got lunch the other day, and I said to the woman, it's a lovely little coffee shop that I like going to, right? And I go in and get a bit of lunch, And then I said to her, where do I wait? And she says, you can wait
Outside.
You can wait outside. But she said, but you can stand in the hall if you want, because it was lashing rain. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a little death. It's just a little, oh, God.
Yeah.
You know, isn't it?
See, it's very inconvenient as well when you're trying to do anything.
Barely an inconvenience.
No, it's very inconvenient.
Very inconvenient, yeah. It's the idea we finally have some personal control, yeah. I think pharmacists do it over counter is a little bit of a philosopher. What do you think?
I think so too. And actually, down in the doctor's surgery this morning, looking at all the elderly people getting their
Jabs.
going in to get their vaccines, and
Yeah.
there was one man came in and he was like, "I'm here to get my vaccine," and I'd say he was about my height, and he just sauntered past me and he was like, "I'm here to get my vaccine," and the girl says, "Oh, very good," and she says, "Your first one?" He was like, "Nope, my second one," and he was like just rubbing his hands, and you could just see the excitement in him, you know. But and there was one woman then, and she could barely walk. I went over to the pharmacy and came back from the pharmacy and back into the surgery, and she was walking up the ramp when I went over to the pharmacy, and when I came back from the pharmacy she was still walking up the ramp, but she was getting in there to get her vaccine.
What was his height got to do with it?
I don't know. I've no idea.
He's about my height. And
He's just a little man, like
he's about my height and
little old man.
I know, but it's mad. You didn't describe anything else except that he's an
No,
old man about your
I only
height.
saw him from behind, you see.
So I have in my mind this kind of generic old man.
yeah,
you
and he
know.
was.
There is no generic old man though. I mean, the old man who pops into my head when I think about old man is that guy down in the bar and his pants fell down. That old man, remember? That's so sad. We were down in the pub, and it's my favourite bar in the village. It's the is it the Raccoon Inn? The Raccoon Inn. I love it, right? It's just the best bar. And it's one of those, it's a proper bar. I love it. And this old man came in. He came in anyway, and he was standing at the counter, and he started losing it a little bit, I think. And next thing what happened was his pants just fell down. And but he's kind of doddery, isn't he? Kind of doddery old guy. And then he was kind of trying to reach down and pulled him up, and then someone in the bar kind of saw it and helped him and pulled him up and he'd gone to the toilet and not done his belt and stuff like that. And then they did it and they kind of looked after him. But then I heard him saying a few weeks later that I heard them talking that what happened was it was someone's local, right? But they had left the bar because the old man had been barred because he'd basically wet himself one of the evenings, and they'd said he can't come back because they can't have someone in the bar like that. It's just dangerous. And then someone said he'd basically been drinking there his whole life, and to bar him at that age. Now he did. I saw him subsequently back afterwards. But whenever you think of old people, I'll say on the wrong end of the spectrum of health conditions, you know, being healthy, whatever,
you think of him?
He pops into my mind. Yeah, for some reason he reminds me of my dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
He reminds me of my dad.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, because that kind of,
and he has that little kind of small frame and stuff like that of your dad as well. Yeah, and
that kind of shuffling and a little bit. He was a little bit forgetful and all that kind of stuff. For you know,
and like the pint.
Yeah, very sad, very sad. So
Laura's asking, there is the vaccine being offered to all age groups? No, is the answer, Laura. It's they're down to 45-year-olds at the moment, for 45 to 50, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're offering it to those. So I got mine last Saturday, but I got mine because I'm pregnant, so I'm high risk. I just got one, and I won't get the second one now until after I have the baby, because there's not 28 days between now and me turning 36 weeks pregnant, and it's too dangerous to give me the second one in case I get it, because apparently you can get a temperature after the second one. So in case I get a temperature, it's dangerous on the placenta. So it's too dangerous after 36 weeks. Yeah,
but you're hypervigilant and everything like that. So I think the thing is just to be careful, and obviously the more people they inoculate, there's the herd benefit and all that kind of stuff, you know. So just are you saying you have a PhD Pharmacists do it over the counter. Yeah, so you have a PhD. I remember when I was in college, I had a lecturer, and I went to a regional college initially, and most of the lecturers would have had a degree or a master's degree. There was no doctors except for this lady. And I remember saying to her one day, I said, what does it mean, PhD? And she was going, doctorate in philosophy. And you're kind of going, okay, because philosophy was the original name for science, like, philosophers, and philosophy was like science, and it kind of all partitioned away and stuff like that. But if you have a doctorate in philosophy, you can have a doctorate in science.
Not like
and then
Socrates kind of thing.
Socrates, yeah. Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing. That's kind of where it comes from, because you see, I think the study of everything at one stage was kind of philosophy. You were philosophizing because they couldn't do experiments and stuff. Well, they could, I suppose, but that's the root of it. And then, so when you do a degree in, say what pharmacists do it over the counter, saying like it's a doctorate in philosophy. But I had a professor years ago, and he had a doctorate in philosophy, a doctorate in science, and a doctorate in something else. He three doctorates, and then you can have. So that's why you see. That's why when people say you're a doctor, you go yes, but what people think is medical doctor, but that's a doctorate in
MD.
Yeah, a doctor in medicine. So but a doctorate, it's just a degree. It's just a level of
is the uptake high on
PhD,
vaccine?
very good.
30 in the UK, I think. Is the uptake high?
Yeah,
it is quite high. I've only heard of a couple of people not taking it for whatever their reasons. They have their reasons, but they're not taking it. But most people that I've heard of that have been offered it are delighted to go and get it.
Yeah, I think you'd be nuts not to.
Well, look, people have their own opinions.
Yeah. So actually, I see organic pharmacy over the counters, organic chemistry. I did organic chemistry when I was in doing my diploma, and I have to say, of all the things I studied over the years, organic chemistry and chemistry in general was my favorite. There's just something about it. I think it was fantastic. I remember ELISA tests, right? So enzyme linked immunosorbent assays. You never forget them, right? And then the way they go on about anyway. So, but disease.
I don't know what you're saying to me. You know the way, because I don't.
Disease. It's just amazing the stuff that they do with organic chemistry and just chemistry, because there's chemistry, but this organic chemistry is just that. There's just something very. I just found
organic.
Yeah, orgasmic. I just found it interesting. Made the back of my head itchy now. See, that's me dandruff acting up. So that's the thing I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to say that I did get that sense, and I thought, wow, I have a feeling when we get the second dose and things start to normalise, I probably will hopefully relax a little bit. So.
But it is quite emotional when you see all those people going in and out, and what we're there for, and what we've been through, and
yeah.
Yeah,
it is. It did feel surreal to be down there. In this place, thinking, wow, I can't believe I'm really in a centre to be vaccinated with all these random people in this way. Well, they weren't random, they were all of a certain age group, but it's just amazing to think, because I'd been in that hall before, because it's used as an exhibition centre and all that kind of stuff, and I was thinking, wow, the last time I was in here, we were looking at buying garden chemicals or something like that. It's that kind of thing. It's kind of going, wow, like, and now look what it is. And then when you see soldiers, and they're probably medical personnel from the army, and the tents outside and everything like that. It's just mind blowing stuff. It's like, it reminded me of that movie with Morgan Freeman, Outbreak. You're kind of going, wow, like, this is crazy. It's crazy stuff altogether.
Definitely will be a film made about it, I'd say. My son's partner.
PhD anthropologist. I didn't have a clue. I left school at 14. Yes, a lot to unpack there, Laura. Interesting that you left school at 14. But I think so many people of your generation did as well. I know my parents did. They left school. Well, they left school very young.
I'd say they left school after confirmation, but my parents did.
Yeah.
So what's that, 12?
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't have. Secondary school in Ireland was only offered to people that had money.
Yeah.
Until that politician guy.
Yeah.
Can't think of his name now. It's an ad about him though.
Oh. You're talking about. But yeah, no, it is amazing. And then you have on the other end, the PhD. That's the highest you can go. PhD, in my understanding. Level 10, I think it is. So, but it is amazing. But it was always an ambition of mine to get a PhD in my
You have one.
college days. It was the one thing I did want. I did want because it always interested me, because I think the thing is, it's sort of like a place I worked years ago. It was owned by a German company, and anyone would come over from all the German companies. So in Ireland, so the thing is, like anywhere, there's an arms race. You got your kind of like, it used to be, say in England or whatever, your A levels were enough for you. Then it was sort of like, okay, you need to get a degree. Now it's a master's. But in Germany, they're way ahead of us. It's like PhD. So you'll meet someone who works in an office, and they'll have a PhD in something, because they start later in their culture. Or the guy running the business will have a PhD, and you'll meet someone who works as an engineer, and they'll be like, he's not just an engineer, he's a degree in engineering, he's a PhD in engineering. And it's like, right, okay, so it's very normal. But it's a bit of an arms race, to be honest. Bit of an arms race. So there you go. Something popped into my mind there. What was it? Oh yeah. Does anyone know who Elon Musk is and
Donna O'Malley.
Dara
O'Malley.
O'Malley.
That's Deliver's father's son.
All right. Okay. Sorry. Elon Musk and Warren Beatty. Not Warren Beatty. That's the actor, isn't it? What's the name of the guy?
Paedophile Education Minister on the 10th of September 1966.
Musk the Stoner. You say that every time.
What?
He says that every time. Musk the Stoner. And that's blown out of proportion, apparently. He smoked one dope. He smoked a joint, apparently, with Joe Rogan. And I was watching a thing about it, and he was saying that has followed around. What? Not Warren Beatty. What's his name? The guy, the investor in America.
Rory, what's the story?
What's the guy's name?
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. That's it. You know that, and me can't remember. Warren Buffett. Even folks currently on the way to Galway, stopped in Athlone for diesel. We'll listen back later. Good man, Rory. So stopped in Galway for diesel, huh? So safe journey. Hope it's great.
Going to Galway.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to go to Galway. I love
Yeah,
Galway.
like we can go. The only place I don't ever really want to go is Kilkenny for some reason, and the majority of the East Coast, apart from Glendalough. I don't know what it is. And Wicklow Town, I like there. Elvis is creeping around out the back. Look.
What has he got?
I don't know. But Warren Buffett. Isn't it Warren Buffett? Yeah, Warren Buffett. A very interesting thing about Warren Buffett and Elon Musk. Now, you can't base everything on the opinions of these two people, but there are no slouches in their fields, right? And the two of them disregard MBAs completely. Like a
basketball thing?
No, Masters in Business Administration. So there's this huge thing now at the moment of people have an MBA. I see it now. You see it on LinkedIn, and people I know who have them. And basically, they more or less introduce themselves first. Hi, I have an MBA, blah, blah, blah. My name is such and such, right? So there's this kind of arms race out there of
That's
MBA.
their anchor. You're supposed to do that. Because I learned that in the marketing thing the weekend.
Okay.
Sorry.
And so they all have them. But basically what Warren Buffett is saying is that he would hire someone in the morning who didn't have an MBA, but who showed a good aptitude. Because what he's saying is that these kind of MBAs, it's his view that people are parachuted in because they have them. And they have an MBA, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're any good. And I would have to say, I have to be careful now, but the people I know who have MBAs, I wouldn't be blown away by them, if you know what I mean. They don't seem like the titans of industry that they think. I think
it's a master's. Is that what it is?
A master's in business administration. Well, yeah.
I knew one person that got an MBA while I was getting to know them, and the most untrustworthy, unrelatable character I have never met in my life.
Yeah.
Not a very nice person whatsoever.
Yeah, well, they don't discriminate when they're giving out degrees to people. As long as you can pass the tests.
Driven to do and got a 1-1 and got best in their class kind of thing.
Wow.
But just not a nice person. Would rip the skin off your back.
Probably do well in business. But so that's what he's saying. And Elon Musk is the same thing as well. That what Elon Musk is saying, that these people come in with an MBA and I think his point is that they sort of have this level of entitlement. He's a dropout, like so is your man that set up
Like half the world.
what's his name? What's the guy that set up Microsoft? Bill Gates. So a lot of these people are dropouts, and
Your man on Facebook's a dropout.
yeah, and so that's the point he was making, that that these people come in with these MBAs. And the only reason I'm saying it is because we were talking about PhDs and all that kind of stuff. But it's funny, when I met them first, I remember kind of going, oh, these have an MBA. And then you'd be kind of going, ooh, you kind of know it's kind of sexy, because it's a bit like sort of like, I have the best car or something like that. Or, it's that kind of, it's got a lot of cachet. But when I heard them, I always was kind of going, it's because, again, the people I know who have them, I'd be kind of going, no great shakes. So, but then when I heard these guys saying it, you kind of go, okay, fair enough. So at least, maybe not everyone agrees with me, but there is some kind of, I would be impressed by Buffett and Musk as business people. And I think the thing is that I'd be kind of going, at least on some level, I'm inclined to agree with them. So I think the thing is, when people come in and kind of go, I have an MBA, my view would be kind of going, I know I should be impressed, but I'm not. I don't know why I'm not, but it just doesn't seem something. But fair ball to you. I mean, someone actually, it was Martina was one of the first people I knew. Now she would be impressive. Right? She was good. She would be someone who would use her MBA well, and she was very good. Right? She was impressive. Is still is impressive, But I remember kind of going, oh yeah, and she was saying it to me, and I was kind of going, I didn't know how you went about doing an MBA, and she said, I remember saying it to her, she says, well, you'd kind of probably have to give up your job, or you have to dedicate a lot of time, and it's going to cost you 40 grand. And I was going, really? Because I knew people before her loosely who had them, but they'd been given them by their company, and that the company had paid and given them the time and all like that. So these would be branch managers of supermarkets. So you'd have this supermarket manager going around with an MBA.
It depends on what college you go to as to the price in Ireland, though.
True.
Because, and like the company that we worked for, would have paid, because they do pay, but you're contracted in then to working for them for a certain period of time.
Well, I see. I think what happens is that when you're in a company, right? Companies. So my whole issue with companies is, well, one of the things I have is the backbone of the company is the HR department, right? Now I have to be careful here, right? Because I work for a big company, but the backbone of the HR company the backbone of a company is the HR department, and like anyone, they have jobs to do, right? And I think part of their jobs is to be seen, to groom people, and you can definitely see there are streams within even the company I work within where people are seen as top class, world leading, top drawer, that these guys should be put on courses to do MBAs and that kind of stuff, right? And I see that. And I kind of go, okay, fair enough. Maybe I'm a little bit envious that they're being groomed, but there's part of me that wonders when I look at them, I kind of go, I don't know why. And I think there's sort of a quota of people within businesses that have to be groomed, because the HR guys have to, on some level in this aspect, just to justify their existence. So there is this kind of, they create this kind of artificial tier of these guys are their business, and we'll groom them and we'll create them on. And they're being created all the time. But I'm kind of going, I don't see the impact that they're having. I don't see what they're doing. But there is this kind of grooming that goes on. And and again, every company I've ever worked in, there's always these legendary people who are like this, amazing people that these companies groom. And I'm like going, there are some people who I have met who were impressive. Like genuinely an amazing personality, like magnetic,
like me.
Yes, charming, funny, like just really, but incredibly intelligent with it, and very quick and hard working. Like they ticked all the right boxes in that. Like they had this chemistry, and I was like going, it's so you'd be kind of going. There was one guy, actually the guy who I took his job. He left, and I got his job after he left. And even when I met him the first time, there was just something very charismatic about him, right? But he was really intelligent as well. Like he married a surgeon, right? who obviously has to be quite a bright person. And so he's married to this, and I've watched his career blossom over the years as well. And really, really nice guy as well. Lovely, lovely guy. And I remember I changed jobs some years later, and I was still doing the same job but for a different company. And he'd come in, he'd been promoted, blah, blah, blah. And he'd come in. And again, I met him, and I immediately took to him. And you could see he was charming people. And like, he met my boss, and she thought he was amazing. And you'd buy anything off him then, you know what I mean? But he wasn't trying. It was effortless to him. It just so effortless. And then he was gone, and he had this great career. But he never. The thing about it I always remember with him is that I would be inclined to take things a little bit too seriously and get a bit cranky. But he never seemed to. He seemed to. Yeah.
No.
He seemed to just kind of laugh it off. And I remember I got really cranky over something one day, and I remember him looking at me, and it kind of, not because he's so nice, right? Not in a nasty way, but he was looking at me like kind of going, like, yo, are you okay? Like, why are you getting so bent out of shape? Like, and I was like, going, well, but he was like, oh, and then you see it's people like him with that attitude that make it to the top, because the other people like him who worked away, because he was gifted as well, like he's very clever. Other people like him who worked away, they recognize that in each other, and then they worked their way to the top. I think that's my view, and he's not like the rest of the Luddites that you meet.
The Luddites.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just
mean?
A Luddite. Well, just sort of. Well, let's look up the definition, right? A Luddite, because I know the context of the word, but let's just see what the definition is, right? A Luddite.
Steve Jobs, another dropout.
Yeah.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. Luddite, a person opposed to new technology or ways of working, a member of the who destroyed machinery. See, that's who a Luddite. It's also sabotage. That's where sabotage comes from. Will I tell you? So what happened was that apparently I got this. I got this from Star Trek. So what happened was they were creating machines that were taking the jobs to the people, and the people were poor, and the shoes they wore was in France or somewhere near Belgium or something, or Holland, whatever. And the shoes they wore were wooden shoes, and they were called sabots. And they threw them into the machines to break them, and that's where the word sabotage comes from. Yeah, so that's what a Luddite is. Yeah, so there you go. But I think maybe I'm probably not using the word correctly, because I think a pejorative applied to people showing technophobic learnings. I think I mean something different. Then I think not Luddite and not Philistine either, but it's that kind of general.
Egypt.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Let's read the few comments we have, right? So we may as well get a few. So we may as well not knock them. We may as well not read them. I'd love to be going to Galway, says Laura. On Galway, that's Irish for Galway, I think. MBAs are expensive. They are expensive. I got my master's at the School of Hard Knocks. Very good, Laura. Very good. Apple, Steve Jobs, another dropout. Yeah. But you see, these guys are gifted. That they're the kind of, they're like the Pele of the business world. They're this kind of like Tiger Woods of golf. You get the equivalent in people who are just business geniuses and just gifted,
Laura, how's your I think you said it was your son a few weeks ago wasn't too well, so just wondering how he is. Hope everything's going all right.
Yeah, me too. And it's very nice of you to ask, but
well, only been. We've no other way of finding out.
I know,
and she mightn't like to say.
Well, on a public forum.
She told us on the public forum.
I know, but
Okay, you don't have to answer that, Laura, if you don't want to.
Anyway, Vanessa graduated. Top of our class.
I wasn't top of the class. So silly.
In career guidance.
Career guidance, yeah.
Didn't you? You finished your thing. So she's
did.
now a fully fledged life coach.
So life and executive coach, actually.
he's having treatment. Very good. Well, we hope it all goes well, Laura. See, it's a difficult question because what do we say to console Laura that we're there for you and we're thinking of you?
But by asking the question and
true,
acknowledging it.
True. But I think
in true Irish style, you'd rather not.
No. You see, it feels like you're prying, but I know you're not. I know it's if anything, when you don't ask, it's cold and callous. It's the right thing to ask. But then sometimes people might go, I don't want to talk about it.
True.
And I think people err on the side of maybe they don't want to talk about it, but I think most people probably do. So fair ball to you. And look, Laura, I hope it all goes. She's a grand. Very good. Very good. So, but then you see, the thing is, it's a bit like when they go, and the plane crashed, and it was a plane from an orphanage, and there was 35 kids on board. And now, so Larry got the kitten black. You know what I mean? It's like that. It's sort of like, how do you follow on from something like that? No,
you're putting a lot of thought. And
but that's me.
Just asking Laura.
I know, but I'm just saying that's the way. Because the thing is, when you see those kind of things.
Now she said, "I'd tell you if I didn't want to say."
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Right.
Grant. So there you go. You all right now?
Yeah.
Well, that's settled for you.
We're almost out of time. You've 15 minutes left. 13 minutes left.
Oh.
So do you want to talk about your course and what you're going to use it for, your powers of good, and how you're going to help people and what you're looking forward to do it? And then I will sit here quietly and listen. I will. What are you laughing at?
You.
Well, I'm just interested.
I'll sit here quietly.
I will.
I'll get about 10 words in and you'll go, oh, sorry, can I just interrupt you there for a second?
Well, I'm very curious and so on and so forth. Like when you said about your man's height, I was going,
I don't know what his height had to do with it.
What's his height got to do with the story? I thought it was going to be, and actually when he turned round, he used to be 7 foot something, and I thought there was going to be some kind of, and it had nothing to do with it.
He was walking on his knees.
Had nothing to do with it. Is that a non sequitur? Is that a different thing altogether? Anyway, go on.
So yeah, I graduated on Sunday. It was actually lovely. It was very, very bizarre. We did it all over Zoom. The entire course was over Zoom, which was very strange, but I liked it. I was happy enough doing it over Zoom, to be honest. And we graduated on Sunday afternoon. It was lovely. We went into our little classrooms and graduated with our tutor that we had over the last 8 months. And we got our diplomas in the post on Tuesday morning. And then you're going to put them over your ears or your mouth. And
I'm just trying to hear how loud you are.
The plan for me will be, obviously, there'll be no huge point in me taking on clients right now because obviously I'll be going out on maternity leave in 5 weeks' time. So they'll only be getting started and I'll have to leave them for a while. So I'm just going to try and get the business itself set up in the background, kind of getting logos and stuff. That's what I was doing at the start of logos and stuff. That's what I was doing at the start of the session here. And then I want to work with I want to get into like addiction coaching and basic life coaching, but I would like to venture eventually into addiction coaching and relationship coaching. So we will have to see how that goes. So I have a couple of extra little weekends that I have to add on. So one of them is in September, and then the other one I'm not too sure when it is, because the next one is actually in July, but it's the week I'm due the baby, so I won't be doing that. But because I'd end up probably having to do it from the delivery suite at the Rotunda Hospital. So I won't be doing that. And then after that, the world is my oyster, as they say. All right, Jay. Your head wrecked?
No.
No.
No, it's Shinny.
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 Shinny will.
Shin scale. You have to say to Will C, yo. Because he said yo.
Yo.
And Carl O.B. Evening all.
Evening all.
Evening all. I don't know why we're giving you an English accent. You could be English, but Carl O.B. You could be German with a name like that. Well, it could be Irish.
Carl. Yeah.
Carl O'Brien or something like that. Well, I think personally, I think you're going to be very good at it. I think you have found your calling.
I think so.
Well, you helped me, V. You helped me. I would not be the fantastic, wonderful. I mean this.
You mean you're fantastic and wonderful?
Of course.
Modest too.
From Cork, but live in Ballycastle. Good man.
Cork boy.
I think Carl.
Carl
Yeah,
owns the
Carl.
wetsuit shop.
No. I think you keep saying it. No, Carl gave me tips about when we go up to the next.
Carl, do you own a wetsuit shop?
I don't think that's Carl.
Why do I think Carl owns a wetsuit shop?
I think you're getting confused with someone else, but it could be.
Did the comment come in after we'd been up there? Was that what it was?
Yeah,
I'm making that relationship.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I don't think so. I don't know. So I think I have to say, V, your patience and your ability to work with people is just a gift. And you're like one of those people. I think you've just found your calling, and I think more power to you, and you'll be very good at it. And I hope you make a ton of money, and I can retire. But I think you'd be very good at it.
I hope I make a ton of money so you can retire as well, because I think it's probably safest that I work with people than you.
Even if I went part-time, I wouldn't mind. If I went part-time. But I think...
You can make the dinners. We won't lose the run of ourselves, will we not?
Well, Christian, by the time you get really successful, Christian will be old enough to cook. And he's shown signs of wanting to cook. Good at making tea and toast.
Pizzas.
So, but no, I really think you're going to be good at it. And more power to you. So yeah, I think, and like I said, without kind of, again, I think you have helped me a huge amount over the years. I think your one amazing superpower is you've this amazing superpower. It's a fantastic superpower.
What is it?
Your patience. You're just endlessly patient with me. And I did test you in the early days. I did. And the fact that you stuck with me through the early days, when I was very difficult. I was a very difficult person to be around. And the fact that you stuck with me through all that, is a testament to the level of patience that you had. And I think the reason we're together is because you stayed in there with me and had the patience. And I think your patience gave me the space I needed to get my head together, and without being rushed or forced into changing, because I could have been still the same person and I think you'd have been still with me. But I think the fact that you had given me the space I needed, which I didn't understand at the time that I needed. I didn't know I was introverted, and I didn't know I was an INTJ, and I didn't know a lot about my own personality at the time. And I think the thing is, I've discovered these things, but I think the space you gave me, whereas if you were overbearing or difficult or hard to work with or as bad as me, I don't think we'd be together, or we would be, and I'd be very unhappy. But I think your patience is phenomenal. And I even see it with other people, the way you are with other people, how hugely patient you are with people. And let's face it, like, most people are assholes. So, the fact that you are so patient with people is just phenomenal. So yeah, I think that's your superpower. Your superpower is your endless, depths of patience, especially with me, and the amount of space you gave me. I do appreciate that. And how difficult I am. I think I'm more quirky now these days than anything, and you seem to tolerate that too. You seem to kind of just put up with it. Like, I mean, the fact that I've grown my hair, grown a beard. Now, you made your point about it, but the fact that I'm gonna buy a new camera and these things, they're not like red flags to you. They're not kind of like, what's he doing or something like that. You know, it's sort of like you're kind of going, yeah, that's your thing. Let's see how it goes and whatever and stuff like that. Whereas, like another person could have said to me, "You're not growing that beard," you know. And I'm a grown man, and I'm like, I'm gonna grow a beard if I want. But you never once said to me, "Don't grow a beard." You did say about my hair. You did say I wouldn't be mad about it and stuff like that as well. But I think the thing is that you never drew a line in the sand with me, which is the thing for me that I would bulldoze through and go, wow. And I know that with me. I know it's kind of going, okay, because again, it's that kind of like, whereas you always had the wherewithal not to do that with me. And, but I think it's, again, a testament to your patience that, you know, but ultimately it's because I chose you as a wife.
True.
So,
yeah,
you know, I wasn't too
stupid. So it's really a job well done for you.
I wasn't too stupid either. You know, I chose well. I have to say I did choose well. So yeah, no, I did. You know, I have to say I did choose well, and I was a handful. I'll admit it. I was a handful. And it's only really, I'd say, in the last few years that I've started to. And it's, I don't like. I think getting married, having Christian, the van, YouTube, all these kind of things have helped. But I think really, it's the fact that you've given me the space to allow me to figure these things out for myself. And in the last few years, I think a lot of things have kind of fallen into place. That means all these things are good. That I make the most of them. So there you go. So I think you're going to be great. So yeah, no problem at all. So what kind of job should I get then?
Would you like to write me a testimony?
Yeah.
From my website?
Yeah, you can say, just ask Jay.
What kind of job should you get?
It is career guidance, isn't it?
It is career guidance, yeah. Well, we'll have to get you to do an aptitude test first. Do you know, I did an aptitude test in school, and do you know what they told me I'd be best working at? In the bookies. Because I was very good at statistics.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
You like gambling. You like gambling. Carl says, no, I was commenting about rattling. That's right. I knew it was something to do with that. I think maybe you made the comment about, because I was going on about how you can see Scotland and and I think maybe you were going over to rattling. I think Carl was going to see. The thing is, Carl, I am terribly bad with people. Do you know, I was in a shop the other day and someone come up to me in one of the shops and said to me, you know this comment people make, are you still fooling them? All right, so you're still getting away with stuff. And he knew me, and I was completely drawn a blank with this guy. You forget who I am. And I was like this with him. I was going, oh, this guy. I said, now he knows me because he was chatting to me about stuff, and I was looking at him going. And it's very hard with the masks as well, isn't it? Yeah, but I mean, I was completely drawn, and then I had to kind of bluff my way through the conversation with him. And then kind of go, but no, he left. And I was gone, I don't know who you were. So I'm really bad at that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is. That's a scruffy laugh. She has a very dirty laugh. It's one of the things that attracted to me most, Laura, when I first met Vanessa. Her dirty, filthy, dirty laugh. Patience of Job. Yes, very true. Reconnected successfully. Well, it's letting us know it's coming up close to an hour. OBS dropped us out there for a second, but and we probably didn't. What we did was, if you didn't see it, Farmers Do It Over the Counter, we were laughing at your comment about slitting your wrist. Yeah, very true. Yeah. It was a bit of a Debbie Downer last week, wasn't it? Yeah, but you know, is it stopped again? No, it's because it's not scripted. It's real. Yeah, and it's just two normal people talking to a bunch of other. Well, one normal person anyway. One normal person. And you. And me talking to a bunch of other normal people. So there you go. So look, I think 9 o'clock and there's no goggle box. Laura was saying there's no goggle box tonight. No, there's no goggle box tonight. So Shine, Gur Mahagut, and so So we'll see you then. We'll see you next week if we don't see you. We don't see you through the week. See you through the window. I spent 3 nights wild camping last week and 2 weeks sailing. Oh my God. Can I live with you? Read the whole thing so that people know. And in 2 weeks we're sailing from Ballycastle to Campbelltown in Scotland. Oh, and I watched videos about these guys who sailed from Norway to Scotland or something like that. It was amazing. Were they the guys that rowed
The boat.
No, they had a sailboat, but then they went to this island in Scotland and they had this thing. They all dressed up as Vikings and stuff like that. It was fantastic. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'd love to do that. I would love to spend a couple of weeks sailing. It's on the to-do list. Or I mean, I'd love to go sailing. Maybe not for 2 weeks.
I wouldn't be doing that now.
Thanks for the that's
School of us.
Yeah, so we're gonna go. Vanessa's not obviously taking she's not running out the door. We'll see. Take care to yourself, my friend.
We'll see you soon.
So I'm gonna say Slán. Is it SLA fada N?
SLA
fada N,
yeah.
I think. Slán.
Slán live.
Agus. G. Rev. Ma. Agut. That is goodbye. And thank you. And so on. Right. I didn't. I better send it actually. Slán go fáil. Oh, look at that. Slán go fáil, yeah. And what's the other one? And look, we're dragging this on now. Right, I'm going to go.
That's the Irish version. Go bye.
Right, we're going to go. I'm going to hit the